not giving my son the same opportunity due to his choices? I 56M have 4 kids together with my wife 54F. We have 3 daughters, Chloe 32F, Wendella 30F and Emily 24F. We also have 1 son, Lucas 26M. Me and my wife have since the birth of each one of our kids put in monthly payments in a college fund for them. The amount in the funds was enough to cover for all 4 kids' college education. Our kids all choose different paths in life, whether it was their degree, place of education or what type of school, they all went with something different. When our oldest, Chloe, graduated high school, she talked to us about how she was unsure what she wanted to do with her life and had been thinking about taking a gap year. We talked with her and told her it was her choice, that if that was what she wanted she should do it and not rush into education. She did take 2 years. During these years she worked and in an agreement with me and my wife paid us $250 in rent each month to continue living with us. She still ate our food, we cooked for her and still bought her necessities. The $250 were put in a savings account that we gave her access to when she and her now husband was beginning to talk about buying a house. Even though the situation was not the same with each kid, they all knew about this and the plan for how the money would be used. Wendella lived with us for 3 years after college, Emily lived with us during college. They both took part in this. The issue is with my son, he, like his oldest sister, wanted to take a gap year. We encouraged him to do so. He asked if he could stay with us. We told him yes, but told him about the rent situation. He was not happy with this, saying that he was our son and we should want him to live with us for how long he would need to. We explained what the money would be used for. He said he did not give a shit. He was very angry with us for a long time and ended up staying with a friend of his. This all happened around 8 years ago. We have a good relationship now with both him and his wife, whom are accepting our first grandchild. He recently brought up how all his sisters got money to buy a house, showed me pics of a house that he and his wife had been looking at. I said it looked nice, to which he responded with asking when I could give him the money. I told him that he made a choice when he was 18 and that he would not receive any money. He said that it was unfair and that he was young and dumb and should not be punished for it. I told him that I did not have that kind of money to just give him. He left the house after arguing a bit more. My wife and his sisters all are on my side. However, his wife and my mom have said that I am in the wrong and I should want my grandbaby to have a place to live and should not punish him for mistakes he did as a young boy. Edit: when each kid got access to the rent money, it was in a savings account. However, before it was put in a fund so the money grew. Explained it really bad, sorry. Comment 1. NTA et al. From what I understand, you never gave the other kids money. You just kind of held on to their own money and gave it back to them, lol. Dude should have taken your offer. If you're looking to adopt any more adults, I can 100% do that rental agreement with you, lol. Comment 2. NTA. He was legally an adult when he made his choices at 18. He was mad at paying rent to you, knowing full well that the rent money would be put aside for him to use later. He split. His actions have consequences and instead of being mad at you, he should be mad at himself. No one gave me the money to buy my own house. I did it by working hard, getting my credit scores up and saving money. Apparently he doesn't think he should have to work for it. He thinks everything should be handed to him on a silver platter. He has some growing up to do. Hopefully, his grandma, your mom, won't hand him money for a house. Comment 3. NTA. He doesn't get to benefit from a program he didn't put into. His siblings participated in the program, which makes me assume he truly understood how it worked, and was just a young adult who was more interested in instant gratification than saving. With respect to his mill, she's welcome to give them a gift for the purchase of a house. He's a married grown man who presumably planned to have a child. He can figure out a living situation for themselves. Telling my dad that he shouldn't have asked me a question if he wasn't prepared for the honest answer? I, 25F, am not that close to my dad anymore. I was until I was about 13. But that changed. He either only realized it now or only started to care now that I'm living a more independent life and he's not as involved as he wants to be. I was 8 when I lost my mom, and we were as close as ever, but I needed him more. Then when I was 11 he remarried and he became a stepdad to a girl who was 10 at the time. Now, this is where full honesty comes in. I was jealous as hell that my dad was trying to bond with her and that he called her his daughter and us his girls right away. It made me feel less special. It made me feel like I didn't matter as much, because how could someone so new to him be equal to me after hardly any time? Every time he spent time with her I felt sick. He still spent time with me, but after about 6 or 7 months of marriage, he started to spend more time with his stepdaughter. I hated it. I was both devastated and furious that she was getting my dad. I was 13. My dad said how much he preferred hanging out with her over me because they had similar interests. He said he couldn't spend enough time with his stepdaughter and he was hoping I would hit the teen phase of not wanting my parents around me that much. He didn't say it to me, but I heard him say it. His best friend was one of the people he did say it to, and he was like, "Dude, don't say that out loud." And my dad said most parents probably feel that way. He said it wasn't like he would ever tell me that to my face. Then he admitted he also resented me for not wanting his wife the way her daughter wanted him. He wanted us to be the perfect little family, and we looked like a step family where the step is always used because I didn't really want his wife for stuff. I gave him his wish, and over the years he increased the amount of time he spent with his stepdaughter. They could do stuff together up to 4 times a week. That was until she was 16 and wanted space. He was devastated by that, and that crushed me. So I decided that was all I needed to know and didn't try to get closer to him. He approached me with the question of why after I moved in with my boyfriend and his dad helped us move stuff. My dad said he expected to be called, and then he asked me why I had pulled away from him. So I told him everything from the jealousy to what I heard him say, and I told him I decided that I wasn't going to keep close like I had when he felt that way. Dad was offended that I had ever been jealous. He told me it was disgusting to want to deny his stepdaughter the chance at a dad. He also told me he should be allowed to have interests in common with someone other than me. I told him he was, but I was also a kid who lost my mom and clung to my sole living parent. He then accused me of manipulating him by saying all that, and I told him that he shouldn't have asked a question if he wasn't prepared for an honest answer. He told me I could F right off with that attitude and told me to grow up. Comment 1. NTA, it seems like once your dad remarried, his primary concern in life became about making his new wife and stepdaughter the center of his world. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he's just a shitty person, or maybe he had some serious grief issues that he never dealt with. Either way, the result of his behavior was that he pushed you away to deal with your emotions all on your own. Now that you are no longer close, he wants to whine to you about how hurt his feelings are, but he still wants to take zero accountability for his failures as a father. He needs to grow up himself. Comment 2. How wonderful for your dad. He has given you the perfect response for future contact from him. He cans just F right off and call your stepsister instead of you. He wasn't there for you as he should have been. He admitted to liking her more than you, not just presumption on your part. Be strong and continue standing up for yourself. Comment 3. NTA, your dad is, and a very immature one at that. His friend was right in telling him never to voice something like that out loud as you heard it. Of course, you are going to be hurt. Expressing hurt feelings is not manipulative. You were his daughter mourning her mother and the loss of a more distant father. He's either clueless, totally insensitive, or trying to push his guilt back on you. He should feel guilty. Wanting to bond with his stepdaughter is fine, but it doesn't have to be at the expense of pushing you away. Honestly, he sounds so fracking immature. He's the one that needs to grow up. Asking my stepmom to bake me my own cake for my birthday instead of blowing out the candles on a cake I don't like? My parents divorced when I, 15M, was 4. My mom remarried right away, but that marriage didn't last long. It took my father 3 years after the divorce to meet someone and another 2 years to marry my stepmother, who I will refer as Claudia for the post. I wasn't happy when my father married Claudia, as I was stuck in a fantasy world where my biological parents would still be together, but I quickly learned to love Claudia and consider her family. She is a very sweet woman who has treated me very well ever since I met her. Claudia has a passion for baking. She bakes a lot whenever I'm around. I've eaten enough of her stuff to know I love her baking, especially her chocolate cake. Chocolate is actually my favorite flavor of cake. However, every time my birthday came up, I couldn't get the chocolate cake I wanted, since some people in my mom's family, including my mom, are allergic to chocolate. Every single birthday I'm stuck eating a mediocre cake in a flavor I don't like. I never complained about it since it would make my mom upset. It sucked to blow out the candles on a cake I don't want. My birthday is coming up in a week. My mom always plans out the party, without consulting me or my dad, and she texted me to tell that she had already pre-ordered a strawberry vanilla cake and asked me to pick it up on my way to the party when the day comes. I became visibly upset, as I would be forced to blow out the candles and eat a cake I don't want for the 15th year in a row. Claudia saw me get upset and asked me why. I said everything is fine, but she responded in a slightly demanding voice, once again asking why I was upset. I decided to open up and tell her about my frustration with every year eating a birthday cake I don't like and just wanting my own damn cake on my birthday. She offered to bake me a small chocolate cake for myself that I could have on my birthday. She proposed that the candles be on that cake and the cake that my mom ordered have no candles but still be there for those who are allergic to chocolate. To me, it's a win-win situation. I get the cake I want and everyone else gets something that suits them. I was delighted at the idea and I decided to text my mom about it. Mom wasn't happy at the idea. She actually called me, screaming at me for being ungrateful and call Claudia dirty names. I practically begged my mom to at least grant me this once. I know it's just a cake, but eating what I like on my birthday for once would make me so happy. My mom again said no. I decided to bluff and tell her that I could have 2 separate celebrations. One with my dad and Claudia, and another with her and her family, but that I wouldn't be blowing out the candles on the cake she ordered, and that I'd invite my friends to my celebration, not hers. She became even more upset and hung up. I decided to go ahead with the 2 celebrations idea. Comment 1. NTA. Your mom's reaction is not about you, not about your cake preference, and not about your birthday. It's entirely about her feelings towards Claudia. She's letting her personal issues call the shots here. Honestly, it's weird to me that your favorite kind of cake is not the main to accommodate some food allergies. I would think you would have a chocolate main cake and then an alternative to those with allergies. I think your stepmom provided a reasonable solution to a problem that was upsetting you, and your mom is being completely unreasonable about it. Comment 2. NTA. Now, I'm assuming that no one is so allergic that they can't be in a room with chocolate, but that eating it would be an issue. If people were that allergic, it would be a different discussion and you'd need to skip to the 2-party plan and wouldn't have bothered talking about having your cake at the first party. The party of the first part, as it were. Maybe you should just have one party. The one where you get the cake you want. Comment 3. NTA. It's your birthday. You should be able to eat your favorite cake. Having 2 cakes is not a problem, your mother is. You openly told her eating a chocolate cake would make you happy, you found a compromise that would not impact her vanilla cake, but she's still unsatisfied and doesn't care about your happiness. She's the A. Resenting my dead sister all my life. For context, I, 38 female, got engaged to my now husband last June. My mother has never supported me and was indifferent to the proposal, which I had no problem with. At my wedding, my husband's parents made a beautiful speech that brought me and my husband to tears. When my father and mother got onto the platform, my heart sunk, as I had the understanding this speech would have nothing to do with me or my relationship. My mother and my older sister had been in a car accident when I was 12 and my sister had not made it. It was heartbreaking. My mother, My father and I had grieved ever since that day, and I will never forget my beautiful sister Adelaide and her beautiful smile. My mother had it the worst of us and separated herself from me and my father ever since, and our relationship has been in shambles. She constantly makes every day, even my birthday, about Adelaide, which always annoyed me slightly, but I always rubbed it off as I wanted to be a good daughter. But my wedding day was the last straw. When she got to the top of the platform, she proceeded to take the mic from my dad and make a speech about how her one wish in life was to see Adelaide get married and live a beautiful life. She went on about her grieving process and healing journey at a yoga retreat, not once mentioning my name or my finances. She spoke for about 5 minutes and then in tears ended the speech with, "Now my Sarah gets to live the life Adelaide deserved but was taken away from too soon." I was absolutely furious, but I did not want to ruin the day or let her get the best of me, so I didn't make a scene, but I did not clap either, and nor did my fiancé. After the wedding I did not approach her or even speak to her for weeks. I figured she understood why, but yesterday evening she came to me and my fiancé's apartment demanding answers. I laughed in her face and told her she should know that speech was not acceptable at my wedding and I wish for her to apologize. She refused, so I just shut the door. My phone is blowing up with calls from both sides of my family. My fiancé's family completely supports me, but most of my family is, in their words, disgusted by my actions. Am I the a-hole? Comment 1. NTA. It has been 26 years since the accident, but clearly your mother has not processed her grief properly. But as her daughter, who was actually involved in the accident too, it is not your job to make her heal or make her feel better. Your family, who is taking her side in this, is not helping at all. Maybe it's time to take a step away from them, LC or North Carolina, so that you can focus on yourself and your marriage first without having to constantly apologize for living your life. Despite what your mother thinks, you deserve your life. And congratulations on your marriage. Seems like your in-laws have your back, which is a very good thing. Comment 2. NTA. I don't think you're angry at your sister. After all, she definitely didn't mean to die. Your mum definitely needs to see a therapist because it's not normal to act like this for so long. Congrats on your wedding, and I'm sorry for the loss of your sister.
Refusing to go with husband when I wasn't invited? I, 29, got a text from sister-in-law asking if she and my husband's brother could steal my husband, 34, for a day. I said it was fine, but wondered what they were going to do. She responds saying that they're going to an amusement park, and she's taking her sister and doesn't want her husband to feel left out, so they want to take mine. I felt hurt they invited him, but didn't even bother asking if I wanted to come along, even if it did make it uneven again. I didn't respond with any of that but said that it was fine. Few days pass and my husband comes to me asking about if I knew about them wanting him to go with them, and if I said I didn't want to go. I told him no, that wasn't it, I wasn't invited. They only wanted you to go. I told him what was said in the text and I understand, they wanted him to go to keep his brother company, since her sister was going too. He said they had passes where you could bring a friend each. So if I did go we would have to pay for me. However, they didn't invite me, so I told him I wasn't going to go if I wasn't wanted. It's rude to invite one and not the other, in my opinion, when it involves married couples. My husband says they probably didn't mean it in that way, and that I'm being petty. That if I want to go then I should just come with them. I asked my best friend and another if they would have been upset, and they both said they would be totally p, but is my husband right? Comment 1. NTA, we know they invited him, because they communicated they are inviting him. We don't know if they want to invite you or if there's an implied invite anywhere or not, because it wasn't communicated. Simple as that. There's no question of you being petty. If your husband wants a clarification, he's free to ask them for one. Comment 2. This going to look like two couples to people around them. They don't the actual relationships in the group. Are you all right with that? NTA. I find this strange.